Her nomination now goes to the full Senate floor. Senator Josh Houli of Missouri is one of those yes votes. He joins us now. Senator, I'm sure you've got thoughts on your Democratic colleagues not even showing for the vote this morning. But first to now, Amy Coни Barrett officially going on to a vote in the Senate. Good morning.
Well, good morning to you. This is a historic moment. This is a historic nomination, I think, for a couple of reasons. Two things really stand out to me, having now been through this process. The first is this is the most openly pro-life nominee to the Supreme Court in my lifetime. She didn't back away from that. She wasn't afraid of it. And you know what? Pro-life Christians are welcome on the Supreme Court. They're welcome in high office. They're welcome in every office in America. And this confirmation is going to stand for that. The second thing is her faith. You know, she was attacked relentlessly by the Democrats for her faith when she was first put on the bench 3 years ago. The left has gone after her continuously in the press for the last 3-4 weeks, questioning her faith convictions. She didn't back away from those either. The religious test fell flat. I think this was the confirmation hearing when the religious test that the Democrats want finally died, and a conservative, pro-life Catholic is going to be on the Supreme Court.
Senator, were you surprised when your Democratic colleagues did not show?
You know, yes and no. I mean, I think this has been an epic disaster for them. You know, I mean, they tried to bork Amy Barrett. They tried to give her the Judge Bork, Clarence Thomas treatment, the personal destruction, and she just shut them down. I mean, her performance was so impressive. They really embarrassed themselves, and I think they just didn't want to face the music today. They just couldn't face it. Just like, you know, Kamala Harris didn't even show up to question her in person. She didn't want to face her, and I think today Democrats didn't want to face their failure.
Senator, Bill's here.
Senator, good morning to you, and thank you for your time. You've been hot on this Twitter and Facebook story here. Now the subpoenas will go out for Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg. Will they show, and if so, when?
Well, I hope before the election. I mean, I certainly hope that we will subpoena them to come next week. I'm delighted that the subpoena vote was unanimous on the Judiciary Committee. Just 24 hours ago, I wasn't sure we were even going to be able to get a vote. So I'm delighted that this has happened. But listen, we cannot allow these big tech monopolists to control an election. They want to run this country. They want to run this election. They want to rig it. We've got to stop that. They shouldn't be able to intervene. They shouldn't be able to suppress free speech and the free press, and we've got to hold them accountable.
So the Twitter feed today for the New York Post has been shut down for a total of 8 days in running. What does that tell you about the dissemination of the Hunter Biden story that has largely been ignored by just about every media outlet except for the one you're talking to today, Senator?
It tells you that big tech is in the tank for the Biden campaign, and it tells you that big tech doesn't believe in a free press. They want to control the news in this country, just like they want to control speech in this country. And here's the scary thing, Bill. They're big enough and powerful enough to do it. If the Senate doesn't take some action here, if we don't hold them accountable, who knows what they'll be able to do in the future? They're trying to intervene in an election in the critical closing days. They want to control news, information, communication across the country. We can't let them.
What's their calculation? Sorry, Sandra. What is their calculation? I mean, they're inside of social media. They see the constant churn globally for these giant companies. And perhaps they figure it's here one moment, it's gone the next. You know, these stories have a cycle. Sometimes they last an hour, sometimes 12 hours. This one's gone on a little longer than that. Is that the thinking, do you believe, behind it?
I think their calculation, I think big tech's calculation is they'll get by with it. And now they've gotten by with this kind of thing for years. They've been able to censor content. They've been able to shut down conservative voices. They've been able to deplatform whomever they want. So I think they think they're going to get by with it. They also think they're going to get Joe Biden elected. And they have spent so much money on Biden. I mean, these tech executives have invested heavily in the Biden campaign. They think they'll control him, just like they controlled the Obama White House. That's why we've got to put a marker down here. We've got to haul these guys in. We've got to put them under oath. We've got to get commitments from them, and then we've got to break them up.
Senator, that's part of the story. The other part, as the headline reads on FoxNews.com at this hour, a cut for the big guy. The former business partner of Hunter Biden has come forward, revealed himself by name. He is saying that the former Vice President, Joe Biden, about to face the president in a debate tonight, stood to cash in on this China deal. We know that the laptop was subpoenaed in a 2019 FBI laundering probe. This story continues to develop based on what you know today. What should happen next? People are talking about an investigation, special prosecutor. What do you think needs to happen to know more?
Well, I do think a special prosecutor is absolutely appropriate. This is the former vice president who may be involved in a money laundering scheme. You've got emails now. It looks like he's getting kickbacks. Joe Biden getting kickbacks from China. I mean, the American people deserve some answers here, and he needs to be asked about it at tonight's debate. It will be a travesty at this debate. Here's a guy who won't face the press. Biden won't take questions, won't do campaign events. This may be the last opportunity to question him. He's got to be asked about this tonight, and he's got to level with the American people.
Senator, interesting point you make there, because some of your Republican colleagues have suggested don't lead with this story. Focus on the economy. Focus on safety in American streets and cities. What do you want to hear most from the president tonight as he takes the debate stage for the final time with Joe Biden?
Well, I think the president is going to prosecute the case against Joe Biden and point out that Biden had 8 years in office in the White House, and look what he did. He sold out America to China. He shipped our jobs overseas. Working wages were flat. And all the time, it looks like he was pursuing lucrative business dealings overseas. And this is a guy who's gotten rich off of globalization, off of the liberal agenda, while other people suffered. And now he wants to go back to those days? I don't think so.
Senator Josh Houli, really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.